Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Keenan Lambert here once again. So in this video, I want to take time to let you guys into my experience as a traveler. Before I became this sort of hybrid historian slash traveler, I was a young kid with a little bit of money traveling around from place to place. Now, when I was this age, I made a lot of mistakes when traveling. Now, we're not going to go into all of them, but there's just something that I really want to warn you guys about, or at least talk to you guys about, and that's engaging with chapeadora. Now let's define the term chapeadora. Webster's dictionary doesn't have the definition, so let's go to Urban Dictionary. Chapeadora is Dominican slang for gold digger, but it's a little bit more than that. A chapeadora is a woman who tries her hardest to extract money from guys, and it doesn't matter how old these guys are. So let me tell you the story, okay? At this time, Frontier Airlines, they were having repeated sales where you can get to Puerto Rico and back from Puerto Rico for $100 flat. So you'd spend $100 flat on a round trip from Puerto Rico. Now, at the time, you could fly out from Philadelphia or you could fly out from Islip. Both a little bit distant from where I lived at the time, but I would do it because it was super duper cheap. So I ended up actually on one of these trips to Puerto Rico going on Tinder and seeing what was around, right? Seeing the young ladies that were around. And I ended up stopping on this profile. We'll call her Kay. She was actually a Dominican woman who was living in Puerto Rico. I stopped on Kay's profile and I said, you know what? I'm not going to waste time with hitting the like button or swiping right. Let me go ahead and add this girl on Instagram and hit her up. So that's what I did. And by the time I got back to New York, she was like, hey, let's hang out. So I was like, all right, bet. I'm always in Puerto Rico, so I'll see you when I come back. So that we did. And we hung out. Everything was vibes. Or so I thought. I noticed very quickly she started displaying jealous tendencies. So when I go back home to New York, she'd send me all these text messages, all in Spanish because she didn't speak English. But she'd send me all these text messages saying that I didn't really care for her and I had somebody else in New York, I had a ton of girls, etc., etc. And I thought this was weird because I would give her no idea to think so, but that's the way how she thought. It's either that's the way how she thought or that was a little game that she was playing to draw me in closer and closer. So I remember this one particular time when I went back to see her. I was staying at a hotel. It was called Wind Chimes. It's on McCleary Avenue or just north of McCleary, whatever. And there was a little section in the back where they would sell food. So I went back there and I ordered a pizza. The first pizza came out really messed up for whatever reason. And the lady was like, all right, bet you can keep that pizza, but I'm going to make you a new one. That wasn't my best work. So she did it. And then I went back in with the pizza. I told her the situation. And then I went back outside to wait for the second pizza. Now, there were some women who were back there and they were talking, having fun, chatting, etc. Now, I went back there, of course, waiting for my pizza, and naturally I engaged in some sort of conversation with the people that were there, and it was cool. No problem, everything was vibes. Then she came out wearing one of my sweatshirts and nothing else. And then she called me back into the room. Until the pizza came out. Whatever. I noticed more and more of this sort of jealous sort of behavior. Anyway, there was another occasion where she was sitting in my villa room or whatever you want to call it. And I noticed she was on her phone. And I was like, hey, what are you looking at? And she was looking at suitcases. So I was like, okay, how about we go to the mall and we get you a suitcase? And she was like, oh, really? Yeah, let's go. Let's do it. Now, the way how I framed it was that, you know, we can go together. Not saying that I would pay for it, but that we'd go together and we'd go and get it. So I went to the mall. I paid for the Uber, right? We got off at the mall. We went to a store and they didn't have any. We went to another store and then they had some suitcases. So we looked at suitcases. And then she was like, papi muy caro. And I was like, oh, okay. They're too expensive. All of them are too expensive. Okay, I see what's going on here. All right, let me be a gentleman. Let me help her pay for the suitcase. Or let me pay for the suitcase. That way she can go home to the Dominican Republic in peace and without any stress. You know what I mean? She was super thankful. She expressed her gratitude, and that was that. Okay, so I went back home to New York, and then a couple weeks passed by. Then I noticed her becoming increasingly more jealous, right? And it was literally every day her accusing me of having someone else in New York. But she told me shortly thereafter that her job hours at work got cut, and she wasn't sure how she was going to pay her rent. I actually consulted another woman, a woman that was a friend of mine who was also Dominican, and she was like, bro, I'm sorry, she's trying to choppy you. And then she explained to me what the whole choppy phenomenon is about. Okay, and then that was roughly the end of the situation. I was like, hey, good luck with that. I can't help you. And then she got upset and she's like, wait, you can't help me, but you're always traveling to other places and Puerto Rico. Right. I'm telling you guys this story because I want to warn you against the chapeadora. The chapeadora is a very, very aggressive and a very, very skilled player, okay? Don't fall into any of their games, okay? Now, a chapeadora could be a woman, a chapeadora, well, a chapeadoro, I don't know. I guess can be a man too, okay? So just be careful when you guys are out there traveling, meeting people, falling in love, etc. Now, for those of you who know the channel and know me, you guys know that I am Jamaican, okay? Now, there are a lot of Jamaican men who engage in this sort of behavior with tourist women that come to Jamaica, right? Me and my friends often call the guys visa, right? But in Jamaica, they'll call them renties or rental dreads, okay? Understand that in all of these situations, there is a economic incentive for them to want to deal with you, okay? Now, don't get clouded by falling in like how I did. Just keep your wits about you and understand what the situation is. Now, I see that a lot of my brothers go to other countries and they find wives, and that's cool, but just understand that there may be an economic incentive that is greater than the amount of love that that person has for you, okay? If the situation happened to you or it happened to someone that you know, let me know about it in the comments below, if you feel comfortable, of course. All right? Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. We're going to get going. We're going to do some more Dominican videos. All right? Peace.